camera will be able to do full 1080. I think this is stuck in 720.
It is stuck in 720.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is it the software? Is it the firmware?
No, it's the streaming service limits.
Oh,
what it
well,
does.
Screw them.
Yeah.
Butt faces. Right.
But we are live. Hi, Ed from Spark Innovations.
Hi, I'm Rich from Spark Innovations.
Rich from Spark Innovations, and we are both from Spark Innovations. Rich might leave in a minute because he's got stuff to do.
Yeah.
He's going nuts.
Yep.
And your phone is going nuts. That's probably our notification of.
No, it's my wife.
Oh, that too. So, so on Wednesday we were talking about current through conductors, basically, and we can continue that. I have some points to make on that. We also gave Mark Badwish a T-shirt. Did you get the notification that you won? We're going to send you a T-shirt, stickers, keychain, all that, Mark. So you won our last giveaway, and we can do. You're not wearing a shirt. Is one accessible?
I am wearing a shirt.
Not the Spark shirt. I was going to show that. I can grab that in a minute.
Grab that too,
if necessary.
Grab
we got David Monroe. So we are both obviously from Spark Innovation. So on Wednesday we do a show where we kind of have a topic to talk about, and on the Friday show we're just going to have a conversation with everybody. We could do Q&A. If you want to ask us anything, go ahead. If you want to comment anything, go ahead. If you want to talk about the subject from the Wednesday show, which was current capacity of conductors.
What's the current subject?
The current subject is about current.
Yeah. It's currently about current.
We can talk about coulombs.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
People don't know much about Joule heating or Coulomb's law. They know about Ohm's law, but all the other things are not as well known. So we could talk about that. K-Swiss. Isn't K-Swiss a sneaker? Or it used to be, right? And we got Hi-Fi Vega doing, he's driving a truck that is orange but called yellow.
So wait, Rob, are you talking about answering the phone as WKRP in Cincinnati? Is that what you mean?
Got earplugs?
Never won anything. Haha, this is great. Yay!
Oh, now you did.
Now you did.
You won some Spark goodies.
Yay. Good for you, man.
Hey, my sister's in the house. Good evening.
Hi, Kathleen.
Me answering the phone as a 40-year-old dad. Are you a 40-year-old dad?
He's a 50-year-old dad.
Nah.
He's old.
Yeah. Might be. We are cutting acrylic in the back. I turned off the ventilation fan for noise, so now it's smelling.
I thought so.
Yeah.
My eyes are like a little foggy.
And I could turn the fan back on, but it's
going to be loud. It's too loud.
Yeah. It's a lot quieter. I did cut the
Where's
whistle
Paul
down.
to make fun of my hair?
I don't know. He has to tune in. So we were talking about current through conductors, and I'll talk about that. And if anyone wants to chime in.
Through conductors.
Yeah. What else? By conductors, like the train.
Through conductors.
The guy driving the train is talking about current events.
Yeah. Through conductors.
Through. Yeah. Not a through conductor. Are you conducting a through?
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Vega.
That's what I do all the time.
Are you staying, hanging out?
A couple more minutes.
Okay. There's our timer. Once we're at 5:42, then that's
okay.
That's your time.
5:42. I'm out like shout.
I'm
out of here like Vladimir.
I have the mind of a 20-year-old. Or the matured. How about the sense of humor of a 20-year-old?
So K-Swiss, don't you think the market's a little flooded? It's an honest question. Yeah. It's kind of like subs. Even though Ed has been building subs a long time, used to work with Jonathan DeMuth at T3 and has a lot of experience with it, we could probably come up with something unique. And
subs are not off the table. The thing with amps, though, pretty much to this point, everything we've done, we've been able to design in-house.
Yeah.
Amps we're not amp engineers.
Yeah.
I did build an op amp in school, but I did not do the full design as a product, and I don't think that's something I'm currently capable of. I might someday be, but it's not in our wheelhouse. sub speakers, that's more something that we're able to do in house, but we don't have the facility or the know-how to properly do.
Yeah, we would
amplifiers.
we would need an engineer, electronics engineer, to like really know that stuff. Like Demore, he's a perfect example of a guy
Yeah.
that was meant to do that kind of thing, and just so happens to be in our industry. Um, but there aren't a whole lot of guys out there like Wayne Harris type guys. You know what I mean, that really know this stuff intimately, that can from the ground up build something, and even innovate with new technology.
Yeah.
That's just not what we can. We're not set up that way. I went to school for industrial design. He's been an installer for decades. This is what we do. It's what we know. Stuff that we've learned in our garage and through YouTube videos. Um, but like getting trained in electronics is a completely different thing.
Yeah, my schooling on electronics is minimal. I had 2 years, but that was for like a repair tech. So it was a lot of the basics and troubleshooting. So design engineering, I'm very new to, self-taught. So amplifier, and I think between Hi-Fi Vega and we got Justin, DIY audio guy in the house. What do you say? Amps are intense engineering from K-Swiss. But to have one with the Spark twist would be awesome. But Hi-Fi Vega says almost no one designs their amps to sell them now anyways. See, that's the thing, is a lot of stuff we do, we want to have that Spark twist. We want it to have it our own. So just choosing an amp, and there's a lot of companies that do that. That's great, that they want to have a build house just use what they have in a catalog and throw their own little design cues, colors and logos and stuff like that on there. That's great. I don't know if that's the Sparked way.
No, I mean, if we did it, we would I would want to water cool it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I'd want to have something that's unique, different. Not that necessarily hasn't been tried before, but we wouldn't want it to just be something that you would look at and say, "Oh, that's just an amp." We would want to make it
something different.
Yeah. So basically, we've said this before. We'll talk about it a little bit again. We approach product design from the standpoint of, if it never existed before, what would it look like?
Really quick. Yes, we are on Facebook. If you wanted to switch over to Facebook, Sparked Innovations, we're there and on YouTube.
Oh yeah. But we don't like looking at what's already there and then kind of trying to evolve that. We try to attack the problem or the product design, solution from a standpoint of, what would we do? It doesn't necessarily have to share the same form factor or even look as something that already exists, because we're going to approach it from our standpoint. That's why Fanny looks the way it does. It's like, how would we design a cooling fan for an amplifier? Now, yeah, we started out with 2 squirrel cage fans that you can buy on your own, but we engineered the form factor and the way it is used. So we would really want to get our mitts on it, and hopefully when it was done, it wouldn't look like what everybody is used to looking at and calls an amp, right? So does that make sense? I hope.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. We got Anthony Eichenauer. That's a fun name.
Sure.
Just started following you guys. Well, thank you, Anthony.
Hey, thanks, man.
That. Have you installed the screens behind the headrest like old school? Yeah, I used to do that stuff. I was an installer professionally from 1998 up until 2005 for the first time, and then 2014 up until 18 for the second time. And I did plenty of weird, crazy stuff. And yeah, we did a lot of headrest screens. I did not like them. But do you remember, I had a thing with Paul. That's where the Jaguar thing really started, is because I would mark on the back of a headrest where I had to cut. But before I did that, I drew a picture as if it was a video screen, and it was like a little stick man flying a kite or something like. No, that's what it was on one side. On the other side, it was a stick man fighting a Jaguar, and because it was in the back of a Jaguar car, and I was going to run the wire up So I made it look like the wire was coming up in the headrest. I drew with the Sharpie, and it turned into a cat with spots. And I did it all to get Paul Honer over, just to him do like he used to do your reaction. Like, look, Paul, it's a Jaguar in the Jaguar running the wire.
And I'd be like,
and he would just go, great, Ed, finish the job.
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that was a little
So
story.
wait, he said, did he have a relay box of ours, Anthony?
Yeah.
Ah, very cool.
The Spark Innovation small circuit board with the 4 fuses. So
Okay.
that would be
that's either the Light 4 or the
probably
4CH.
the Light 4,
yeah.
On one of those switches.
K-Swiss fan, it turned out awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, we kind of proud of that one. Yeah. It's just like the products.
That's a question for you.
Is Rich a basehead or just likes the products? So I actually started shortly after Ed. When I got my first car, it was a 96 Beretta. Ed introduced me to the world of car audio by installing my first system.
In Heckinger parking lot.
Yeah.
With house wiring.
House wiring, yeah. And we couldn't go through the firewall because my mom said no. So he went around the door jamb, which was a big, big no-no. And when we went to competition, my first competition, I won second place in the worst installation contest.
Mm-hmm.
When I was really pissed off about that because I thought it was the worst.
You have competed in other shows and won trophies from Slap Show.
Yeah, it wasn't hard though. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of competition there. But
that was in your Cougar. You built enclosures for the Audioban stuff. You had the Audioban Flame Qs, the 1208s.
Yeah.
And the 2400 or was it 2200 or something. The big flame amp from Audioban.
And that was a lot of fun. I mean, I think I'm more of an SQ guy. I'm kind of like a Hi-Fi Vega. I'm both. I'm kind of a bass head in a certain way, but not necessarily the SPL. Like sitting in a vehicle for a demo is not really that interesting to me. But a Sound Q build that focuses on the nuance and staging and all that stuff, that's really interesting to me.
Which is what we did with the original MB Court. Well, the late 90s MB Courts.
Mm-hmm.
That
system
before they got
so good.
Well, they didn't make MB Courts that good since then. So.
Well, and the judge at that show in Deptford, I think it was.
That was the Sound Q show. It was an official iAska show. Yeah.
He said, and I can't believe he actually said this out loud because it sounds so stupid. But he goes, since this is your first show, you're going to get a lower score because you need to kind of climb the ladder or whatever. He's like, but this really does sound good. If your bass was turned down a little bit, he's like, this would be a winning car, but it's your first year. You have to work on things.
The politics is.
And I was like, are you serious? Like, I'm not being judged just strictly on the vehicle and the work that I've done and what you heard. But yeah, so that turned me off immediately, and I didn't compete ever since. But
I think it's because you weren't a customer of their shop, and he was a judge that worked at the shop they were holding the show from.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it and have not built a system like that since. And I started to on my GTO, but that was 15 years ago that I started that. And now I have a second GTO that I bought. It's identical in color, transmission, everything, everything, but just lower miles, obviously. And so I did that so that I can continue the build someday. And then we decided to start this company. And so time and money have just been tighter than ever.
Yeah.
And so we haven't completed it yet.
Did ask, wanted to know what we want to see. Seeing you
a little higher. I didn't see.
That's Randy. He came on, but the wife called him. Wanted to know. Well, there's one above this. Show off the build you've been working on. So if that's about my HHR, just like what Rich is saying, starting the company and running the company now, it's still in its infancy, makes any work we do to our personal stuff take 10 times longer than what they already took a long time because of free time, lack of free time, monetary resources, tools, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I am not currently working on the interior of my HHR. I am working on editing the first 3 videos of doing chassis, bodywork, paint, that sort of thing, engine tweaks. Those first 3 videos will be done soon. but I did all that stuff last year and still haven't progressed and done anything yet to the no audio stuff yet. But
he congressed.
Yeah. And then what was the other one? Have you considered making your own sparked version of the voltage regulator knob for going over 14.8? I personally, I've considered it for us, but as like a projected product to work on and develop, we haven't put that on our list. It is something, so we have categories that we're working on for our product line. So one is power, and that's like our relay box, our fuse box.
The other signal.
Yeah, signal. So RCA audio signal stuff, and we have several products we're currently now working on for that. And the other is acoustic. Like people keep asking about the Eddy port. Well, that may eventually come to fruition, but for now it hasn't. But that is so in the power side, it could be charging solutions and
just it's odd that you mentioned that now, because I just found out that the step down module from Excess Power may be discontinued. That's the 993, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So that kind of opens the door. We tend to not like to compete directly with another company, especially one that we love and work with, like Excess Power. So if something's already out there, we kind of like let sleeping dogs lie. But now that there seems to be a little bit of an opening there, it might be something that we consider adding to our product list. It wouldn't be very difficult in terms of construction. Once it's engineered, you just make the circuit board and you get a heat sink and you're good. So I don't think it'd be too difficult, but good suggestion.
How can I find your previous build videos for both or just Ed's HHR? Like I said, there's not really the series of videos that I'm working on. I still haven't released the first one. I have on Sparked Ed. It's the new name for my YouTube. It used to be Showtime SPL. Now it's Sparked Ed. If you go check out the videos there, there are stuff showing little projects I've done here and there. I think I sound deadened my HHR when I was still living in Tennessee in like 2014, 13. It was around that time. So that's how long this project has gone on.
I have one, if you want to take a look. I can't remember how many build videos are in there. There's a lot of mixtured stuff. It's called Technically Fun on YouTube. And the reason I'm not sure is because I remember having the video camera shooting most of the stuff. I just don't know where I left off in terms of editing and publishing, because I had a pretty big backlog of clips and just footage that I'd been sitting on, and he's still sitting on his.
The cleaner stuff, what was it? Baking soda or some sort of, you had a video blow up because you were cleaning, you made a cleaning solution.
Oh yeah, that was my first video, and it was an experiment. It was like, let's try this out. Let's see if I can make a video, and it was just using baking soda and lemon juice to clean the rust off of a muffler, exhaust system or whatever. And people getting all pissed off. They're like, "Oh, that's stainless steel. It doesn't have rust." And I'm like, "Okay, first of all, there are grades of stainless steel.
Have you not seen stainless steel? It has pits and
yeah." So that was the first thing. But then they were all like, you should try that on real rust and all this other crap. And I'm just like, dude, it's my first video. I just put it out there. Like, I borderline was not going to release it. If you look at it, I'm kind of campy in that one because I really didn't think it was actually going to be released. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? Let me just test this and throw it up. And that was the one, of course, that gets like, I think it was up to 1 million or something like that views.
Mostly because of the nitpicky people. So you have to sacrifice that for the views.
Yeah, but take a look at Technically Fun. You might see my GTO in there. And you know what? I do know that the P-Soup alarm system installation is in there. That is the alarm system that fights back.
Fog machine.
Yeah, it uses really high density smoke, like the stuff that is like military grade. And it fills the car with white smoke when it activates. And I did that. God, that was years ago. But those videos are up, and you might be able to find some other ones with builds. Got almost 700
on your.
Oh, really? Wow!
On your video.
It's been a while since I've looked at it.
Yeah. And my biggest video still is the woofer underwater.
Oh,
the first one, which never been able to capitalize off of.
Yeah, right.
Since then. Thank you, brother. Yes, Rich, I'll check yours out too. Thank you. And hey, thank you, Anthony.
Truly nice guys anymore. Man, thanks. You know, we talk about that a lot. How all the successful guys just seem to be, I don't want to say assholes, but like they're kind of a lot more edgy than we are. And I don't know, we just can't bring ourselves to be like that. So it's kind of like, how do we get there? When is the nicety going to pay off? You know?
Why is the focus like that?
What?
We were out of focus.
You're out of focus.
You're out of order. Police tells me you didn't smoke out of GTO.
So it's not smoke in the strictest sense.
It's like a fog machine, but a little denser.
The particles are so fine that they remain airborne. It's actually pretty cool. I did some experiments where you see them and they kind of like they're like hovering above the surface, and they never land. They're not. It's really cool. They just kind of remain airborne because they're so fine and so light. And then when the car is open, it just evaporates out or whatever. It's pretty cool. I actually think it's really neat.
Yeah. So much competition, and not with their music, but for fame. Hey, how about competition in the lanes? Take it to the lanes, right? Or if you're a dragster, take it to the strip. You know,
I'm still going to invest in. You know what? It takes a while, Rob, and sometimes you just get lucky. I have another channel called what's it called? It used to be called Becoming a Dad, but now I think it's called Being a Dad, or Being a Daddy, or something like that. And it's all, my kids stuff, my family. There was a video of my niece and my son when they were 1 year old sitting up for the first time and interacting. And that's got over 1 million views. And it blew up in India, of all places. I get, because they love, no, honestly, it makes sense because they adore kids. Like they think little kids are so damn cute, no matter what they look like, unlike us who were very judgmental. But yeah, so that one actually blew up. And then there's another one of my daughter when she was a baby. She was excited about eating and she got all like this. That one's at about 500,000. But again, it's luck. It's not like I shared it around saying, hey, everybody, it just doesn't work that way. So maybe you'll get lucky. I hope you do.
Yeah, I don't have many of my build videos as. Oh, here's one.
What?
Okay, so
you can just put it up there.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll just do that.
Actually, you know what?
How to install second skin. It's titled "How to Sound Deaden Doors." That's one. I think I did 2 or 3 sound deadening videos. That's one of them that you can see my HHR build from years ago. What do you need?
He's asking about the larger stickers. We do have the vinyls.
They're on the
they're like
shelf over there.
About that big. How far away is it?
On the other side of this shelf.
All right, let me see if I can.
On the little 4-foot wide shelf there.
Oh, on the other side. All right.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
So you're asking about my build videos. Yeah, this one is, what year is it? 8 years ago. All right. So so what I do with builds is you start from the foundation, deaden and running wire, right? So that's when I started, was 8 years ago. Right there. That one's at 120,000 views. 6.1 million for the sound, bass, and water. But then it's a big drop to voice coils of 605,000. Then how to recone a woofer, 333,000. Jeez. Coming to Slamology this year? Yes. That is the plan. We should register for that soon. We have had a booth there for the past few years. Your stroker video is still my favorite. That was my favorite to make. And I do kind of want to do that with other products, kind of like a mini documentary about the product or about the brand. And I have those tentative plans in my head, but nothing. Again, taking the time to do projects is tough. And it may happen. I am a trained documentary filmmaker, but I don't use
You're not a trained.
Yeah, I do.
You see that? There's Sparky. And yeah, it's like the size of my hand. And then this one is the Circle S. and a little like a palm of my hand. And we got this puppy.
There you go.
So yeah, so we got those guys for you.
Anthony, hey, I appreciate it. The list you have there, all those great information being put out by everybody. So
Steve Mead, Hi-Fi, EXO, Jacob, they're all great guys, man. You named all great guys. It's awesome.
yeah, all happen to be our friends.
Yep.
Love your old video of how
He's
to
got
do
a very
hair
important
tricks.
question.
Who does?
Robert. What do you got, Roberto?
Well, that's a statement, not a question. Mark says he loves my old video of how to do hair tricks. Oh, that's a cringe-worthy one. That's one of my first videos, and it's yeah, I wasn't happy with it. What I did like, some of the videos I did back at Troy's shop. I did one video, and it was like they were calling a superhero, and Edwin flies away, and I just loved. I was still learning how to edit special effects, and so cutting out and doing the background and making him look like he flew away.
Oh,
It was fun to do back then.
Which one of you would win in a fist fight and then never have him do it? Ed would win.
Ed win. I gave you the jackhammer once.
Yeah,
that was fun.
It didn't happen. Ed and I are actually we're very good about.
We're not violent people. We're both pacifists, basically.
In a way, we still have our passions. We still have very strong opinions, and we argue, but not. We don't. It's not like a shouting match type thing.
We're logical.
Like, yeah, and I wouldn't even call it a debate. It's more of like a serious discussion sometimes.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to get uppity, it's going to be me, I guess, because I got an ADHD brain and I'm Italian, so like both of those things, it's a bad combination.
You love men.
And I get emotional, right? But I'm getting better with that. Plus, we both know how to compartmentalize. You know what I mean? So being friends and being business partners, they're two very separate worlds, and we have to know where that boundary is, know when it's okay to have fun and be personal, and then when to make it just about business. It didn't always used to be that way. It took some time and working and discussions about how to do that, and we're pretty good with it now. It was really bad when I first started, especially full time over 2 years ago.
It's the learning curve.
There's a lot of imbalances, and we had to learn. So yeah.
No, neither of us have ever been violent. And in relationships, it's the same thing. I've never been in like an argument per se. It's always discussions, because the idea is that even though emotions might get hot and you need to vent, there needs to be some solution or positive outcome. You need to progress through it. That's what's on my mind a lot with that. And just getting your frustration out through your fists or something, doesn't necessarily progress and solve the actual issue.
This is opinion, of course, but I believe that the point at which violence should enter the picture, right, for me is so much later on. It's very much sooner for others, right? It's very much because there's so much you can do mentally in thoughts and exercising opinions and getting being articulate and getting your emotions out and expressing yourself and all that other stuff. There's so much that you can do that violence, it should be the very last resort. It should be hardly ever necessary. So even though Ed and I are the way we are, I've thought about this before. If anybody ever came near my family, you know what I mean? Like I'd kill them. Like, the rage would ensue and they'd be gone from this earth. But I don't walk around like, hey, I'm gonna, I got guns and I'm tough and look at my gloves and I'm gonna punch you.
Guys that wear the shirt, something about if you mess with my daughter, you get the gun.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I would do that, but why advertise that and why walk around with that as part of my identity? You know what I mean? Like that's what I don't get. You know what I mean? Like there's guys that have shirts that, like the if I'm behind, if
take
you're
it
behind,
easy, K-Swiss. Thanks for hanging out.
If you're behind me, follow me. If you see me retreating, kill me. It's just
like,
like, dude, come on. Like you're at Target shopping with your wife. You know what I mean? Like
about the prom
take
videos,
it down a couple notches.
The girl in the prom dress posing with her dad holding a shotgun.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
That's the
So
Yeah.
and I mean we could talk about this all day long, but
And it's personal. Hey, if that's your thing and you have ways to do it, then we're sharing. Like Rich said, this is opinion.
this is opinion. Yeah, and everybody has a parenting style, but I look at it as, okay, you're not always going to be there. And I've had plenty of friends who had fathers like that, but they never went to their fathers when they were having issues, and they were the ones that ended up getting raped and having problems, right? So I figure it's my responsibility to raise my daughter to know how to judge for herself, how to know dangerous situations, and how to fight. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's a parenting style, it's a choice, but at the same time, it's like, don't you want to give that to someone else, you know, rather than just walk around threatening everybody?
And be a good example.
Yeah. So
let me go back to Anthony. Had a good comment. So what was it here? Speaking of example, Anthony says, would love to make my own build log and YouTube channel for my RAM. Just don't know how to get started and or hate being on video, but keep up great innovations and keep being yourselves, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. If you actually do want to do that, if you watch my old videos of the how to do the hair trick one, I have social anxiety. I've done videos about that. I'm super shy.
Yeah.
I took a conscious effort to get over that and used YouTube as one of the therapeutic healing tools to be able to do that.
Right.
So you could see how awkward and horrible my first videos are, but I kept at it. And I knew they would be horrible, but I just needed to practice those skills, and not in a what do we call it, sandbox or bubble. It needed to be public. It needed to be out there. So I just did it. And you can, what I would say, you don't have to be fully original all the time. Take other videos you like and use that as a template to make your video. And that will make it easier. And eventually you do form your own style based off of that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the reason why the Late Show and the Tonight Show and all these certain types of talk shows or news programs all have
a format.
And that's what it's called. There's certain formats.
Yeah.
And they'll tweak it and personalize it as they go, and just do that. And if you don't want to be on camera, you can just put out your build stuff like
you can
that. There's voiceover.
If you look at some of my videos, his videos too, there's commentary. There's, you know, either live behind the camera kind of stuff or overdub later on. And it just allows you to focus on the work, and maybe, you know, people see your hands in front of the camera kind of thing, and you're narrating as you're going along. They're just as helpful. There is some studies that have been done about talking heads, you know what I mean? How people like to see other human beings' faces, and that does help with engagement. But I find myself, especially with like tutorial videos and other demonstration videos or reviews, that kind of thing, when you're just seeing someone's hands and you're seeing the work be done, but not necessarily the person, it's still okay. And it's still helpful and engaging, and you'll come back for that.
He had a GoPro mount so it mounts here. You can get the one on your head also. Film your stuff from a point of view and make that your visual style of your videos. It's POV in the shop. You know, hey, there's a lot of different tricks you can do, and don't be discouraged just because it's a little worrisome. And if you don't know how to edit, there's a lot of good software and tutorials on how to edit, and start simple. Just cut the clips together. Don't worry about special effects or anything.
Yeah. Sometimes that's better. We overthink everything, so all the stuff that we have out there is slow to come out, and it's long because we postpone to perfection.
Yeah.
Loud, tough guys are rarely actually tough in my experience. Yeah.
Shaolin Danger. I love the name. I'm a Wu-Tang fan, so I think of that. But anyway. Still affiliated with Showtime Electronics. We are friends with them, and they are one of our dealers.
Yes, they're actually a distributor, but he doesn't work for them anymore.
So if you have problems with getting product or have a question on something, then
we still, you know, it's funny.
Someone messaged me for tracking information from Showtime. I'm like, what?
And if they can't get a hold of Showtime or they're having difficulty, like I'll get on the phone or I'll start writing emails to try and join the customer to Showtime again. Takes time, but you know, if it's helping somebody, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. Struggling with a good double 15-inch box for the cargo area of the HHR. Do you think it would be better with one sub over two? No, the more the merrier, man. if you follow me on Facebook, you could see some of my old HHR pictures where I had 3 and then 4 12s up firing port back. I think with those, I kind of remade my back seat so that the back of the back seat was the enclosure.
Surface is the light.
Yeah, something like that. So now I'll be putting in 415s with the factory seat still being able to fold up. So you could definitely fit it. And SPL wise, one of the best setups I had was actually woofers firing out like that with port up in the way back. So you can fit them like that.
There's a, this is for Anthony. There's an app that I
Shall in Danger, I thought you started. I did start Showtime, and I left there in 2013, I think it was, or 14, 13 or 14. So it went under different management when I left. So, yes, I did start it, but for the past 8 years, I haven't ran it.
Filmora Go. Filmorago. Filmora Go. That's for Anthony. It's an app. Because he and I love the nitty gritty, we never use those simple editors, but I started to realize that it was taking too long and I needed to simplify. So I started using Adobe Rush, which is like Premiere, but pared down. But I found the even better one that's intuitive and simple. A lot of intuitive sliding the thing along, selecting where you want to cut it, and then deleting, you know what I mean? And adding a little effect here. And it's very intuitive, and it walks you through how to do your first effect, how to do your first transition. It's very user-friendly, and it's meant for, beginners to learn how to do content creation. So I think I paid for mine, but it's, I don't know, like $5 or something like that. It's an app. So give it a shot, you know what I mean? And start small. They even say, I'll add like 2 videos, and it'll say adding 3 or more videos makes videos more exciting. Like it'll give you advice like that. It'll kind of hold your hand through it. So yeah, I would definitely start, just throw it up there. That was my first video. I just said, screw it. I'm just going to put something up there just to get it up there. And it ended up being my most popular.
Anthony asked if he could follow us. This is our business page.
Yep.
And then my personal page is Edward Lester. Although I'm at 4,000 friends, and I kind of stopped paying attention to my friend requests over the past year. So you can send one there. I have nothing against adding you. It's just that I haven't necessarily paid attention or added anyone, so it might get buried in there. But you can see both of us probably from Sparked Innovations.
Let me see if I could.
And
there we go. Let's see if it'll focus. 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 Film. It's FILM, like film. ORA. Go. G-O. Film Aura Go. That's what it is. Film Aura Go.
getting some spam there too. Shall in Danger, you replaced your batteries. Hey, I appreciate that, Shallon, but don't worry about it. XO, Bruce is a good friend too, and ordering from them is perfectly all right with us.
Yes.
We're not greedy bastards or anything.
AJ,
like that,
grab one of the voltmeters, man. They're on our site. We got them in stock, and you better hurry up because who is it? Sky High just contacted me for a big order of voltmeters, so the one you want might be out of stock soon.
Yeah. Oh, you can always buy from Sky High.
Yeah,
too.
you can.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. So we have dealers. Like I said, Showtime is one of our dealers, and if you want to support XO and me, then you can buy Spark stuff through Showtime.
Yeah.
And then we all
are happy.
We all have happy times there. So
got you, no problem.
We are over time by almost 10 minutes.
Oh wow!
So appreciate you hanging out. You were going to leave after like 2 minutes.
I know, it actually feels comfortable sitting, so that's why.
Well, that's not a comfortable seat, so I don't know why.
It's because everything's still and not moving. That's why.
Oh, okay. But thank you all so much. Again, we are on Sparked Innovations on Facebook.
And on YouTube.
Spark Innovations YouTube.
And
I'm on
Instagram.
Sparked Ed.
Yep. And I'm technically fun, technically
on
fun. YouTube.
And
they're old videos, though.
My Facebook, if you're interested, is Edward Lester. You go there.
Hey, wiring a double voltmeter this week. Woohoo!
Yay.
Share pictures, man. We always share pictures around.
And I'm on Instagram at Sparked Ed and TikTok at Sparked Ed. And we also have Sparked Innovations on those platforms also, although I lost the login to the Sparked Innovations TikTok.
Ryan just ordered a shirt. I don't know how you did it, man. They're technically out of stock on our site, but you found a way to do it, which is great because we do have them. So don't worry. We'll get that out to you. But yeah, I can't wait to see how you like it.
Congratulations to Mark again for winning the shirt that we're going to send to him.
Congratulations, Mark.
His size and everything.
David, thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for your compliments, your sweet words. We really appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend.
You miss SBN. Yeah, it's no longer around, but we will be at the TDH show in Virginia. If that's not too far of a trip for you, come on up. We'll be there with a booth.
Yeah, that black shirt is the material that we chose for it. That's got just the right combination. It's really soft and it's stretchy. It's a nice shirt. Yeah, it's very well done.
David Monroe in the house. Good night, guys. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
See you Wednesday, 6 o'clock.
Wednesday at 6
Spark
o'clock.
Innovations. Thank you, everyone.